Welcome. My name is Kelly Dodge. I am a gold leader. I have been with the company for a year. And today we are going to continue our series. What are income producing activities? Sometimes you'll hear them being called IPAs, not the beer, income producing activities, right? So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is technically week 3. So what we've done so far is the week 1, I just gave a very broad overview of what we would be covering. This will be a long series because it can get quite involved. And so I plan to do this at least through this month, and it's already looking like I will do it again next month as well. Hopefully keeping the same time on Sundays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can tune back in every Sunday, same Zoom number. If you miss anything, you can go to my YouTube and see any recordings you may have missed at my YouTube channel that I have there on the screen. So this week, we are going to talk about face to face marketing, right? So, there are many types of marketing, many ways to market your business. And I think that for the most part, what we mainly train on, and not that we don't train other things, but the main thing that we think of when we think about marketing ourselves is social media. So, we do a lot of social media marketing, right? That's where everyone's at right now. And so I think that we get plenty of training on that for the most part. Every month, there are new trainings for those kinds of things and plenty of recorded. So, we're going to deep dive today into face to face marketing. So, where can you market your business? Right? Where are the places that you can go in your community or even while you're traveling to market your business? And what does it look like? Right. So, the first thing I want to talk about is branding. So, branding is very important, right? And if you're just starting out, you have to kind of think a little bit about what you want your brand to be, right? You are branding yourself, you are branding your business. And so, what do you want it to say? Right. So we have lots of different brands that we know, right? When we look at this, we can look at these things, and some of them we don't even have to see the name of the business or the brand. Just from their icon or their logo alone, we can tell exactly what it is, right? So this is successful branding that these companies have done for their businesses, right? When we look at a business or we look at a logo, we know who they are and what they represent. And some are purpose driven, right? So some have a unique purpose. And so I think that it's important when you are branding yourself is to make sure that you have a purpose. You know what it is that you want to be known for, to be seen for, what kind of clientele you want to attract. So this brings me to like niche. If you want a specific niche, maybe you want to do cruises, maybe you want to do weddings or destination weddings. Maybe you want to do corporate travel, sports travel. There's all kinds of different niches that you can do. Maybe you just want to focus on all inclusives like Caribbean vacations, right? So there are different things that you can think about. I will tell you, in all honesty, that I have not selected a niche, right? And so I tell you that so that you understand that sometimes you just don't know yet. It takes a little while before you find your niche or find what you're booking a lot of or what you enjoy booking a lot of, right? So I thought when I started, I was probably going to book a lot of cruises. I really wanted to do that. Now I still do. But I have had clients come to me and I've booked several Hawaii, I've done Iceland, I've done some things that I didn't think in the beginning that I was going to do, right? So I became certified in those areas. Now that could definitely drive my niche. I could focus in Alaska or Hawaii etc., because now I've taken courses to become certified. Um, so that kind of sometimes is how it goes, right? Like your clientele will kind of choose your niche for you. Now, of course, if that's not what you really want, you wouldn't push that. But I did find a love for Alaska and Hawaii and Iceland, right? When I do those, it feels like every time we book a trip, you fall in love with that destination and you want to add it to your own bucket list. So, um, with that being said, we are going to talk today about personal in person marketing. So, here are some statistics to talk about how effective it is to be face to face with people, right? And so we've come away from that with everything being remote and everyone being online. And it is still more effective to be in person face to face. We look at 70, 74, 75% of consumers become regulars after engaging in an in-person event or any kind of a live event, right? So they're more inclined to purchase or book with you if they're meeting you in person. It's really hard to get to know people. It's hard to know someone's personality when you're just talking on the internet, right? And so we really, it's important to really be in our communities and, kind of put our face out there if we really want to broaden our pool of clientele. So, the major benefits of in person marketing are the personal experience for the clients, right? So, every experienced marketer knows that you win clients over through experience, right? Our experience that we have and we can offer to them. So a client's brand experience determines their buying decision, right? If I can market myself as an expert in Hawaii, let's say, then I am going to be more likely to get people who want to book Hawaii, right? Face to face marketing also allows our clients to not only have a personal experience, but also have the best experience from a personable reaction with another person, right? Intimate meetings and well planned events will will allow your clients to see and experience for themselves what your brand is all about. But sure, they can have virtual experiences, but the impact lasts longer when they're physically present and engaging with you. So let's talk again about brand awareness. So, this marketing strategy will allow you to represent your brand personally, and it'll give you opportunities for better brand recognition and understanding since it will allow meaningful and in depth discussions, right? So, eventually you want to be known around your community, maybe as the travel girl or the cruise girl or the, whatever it is. That it becomes pretty common, right? I've had people say, "Oh, you're the travel agent, right?" And so once you start making a name for yourself, people are going to remember whatever it is that you're bringing to the table, right? So we want to make sure that all of our interactions with people are representing our brand and what we want to achieve. So, better customer engagement. This is another benefit. Personally meeting and engaging with your potential clients and target market will promote better engagement from the latter. Consumers can only engage to a certain extent in digital marketing situations. However, when you physically meet with them, any barriers like virtual fatigue or boredom are easily eliminated, and you can communicate better with them and they with you. So they can freely express themselves and voice out any concerns, questions, and feedback directly to the marketers or the executives, right? Whoever is running the business. So more conversions and sales. So emotions strongly influence buying tendencies of customers. People are driven more by emotions than information. Customers decide according to what they feel rather than what they know. You can have all the facts there, but they're going to go with their feelings. So engaging and enjoyable in-person gatherings will make them feel good and will also further your result in conversion and sales. So whenever I am talking to a client, when I first meet them, especially, I'm not talking about their sale, or I'm not talking about the travel it, completely. right? I want to get to know them a little bit. I want them to feel comfortable with me. I want to get to know some things about them and what they like, what they don't like, what's their family like who am I talking to? Who am I booking this trip for? Right? Because we want to get to know them, right? And I share some details about myself as needed, right? Or whatever fits the situation, and so you start to build your professional relationship. And so when you're doing that, then you have a stronger chance of getting that booking, right? If you're talking to someone online, if you're just, in one of our groups like I need a travel agent, right? How do they choose one or the other, right? How do they choose which one they're going to choose? If you guys know what I'm talking about, there's so many, right? And so if you get a chance to be in front face to face with people, that's where you're going to get your clients, right? And so I think an hour spent out in our communities is worth 30 days of sitting on sites like I need a travel agent, right? Because you're able to have a personal relationship with them and you're starting to build that trust. So here we go. So build customer loyalty and trust. So you don't only want clients, you want loyal clients who will be with you in the long run, right? You want lifetime clients. You want people who are booking trip after trip after trip and referring you to other people. So you build trust when you build those relationships with your clients. You get to know them personally through those face to face meetings when possible. And intentionally meeting them will make them feel valued, heard, and understood. I have an agent on my team who she has a client who actually has come twice now to her home to book, and she doesn't live near her. She drives like 6 hours to come to the agent's home to book. That's just what she prefers. She doesn't use the internet much, and it that works, right? But they have built a very strong friendship and professional relationship, and she has booked many trips with her, and is booking many more. She was just at her house last weekend. She came to finalize one of her upcoming trips. So that really goes a long way. So connect not only to pitch, so you're not just all about your sales pitch, right? But you need to meet their needs, right? Find out what their pain points are. We'll talk about that, I think, in a little bit. Building a relationship allows you to not only attract clients, but you're creating brand advocates, right? These people, when they learn to trust you and become loyal to you, they are going to be your advocates. They are going to be your promoters, right? So you're going to convert clients into promoters, right? So how do you get those references? You are building a loyal trust relationship with your current clients so that they start promoting you, right? It's a very it feels very good when you have people in your corner saying, "Oh, I know a great travel agent," or, "Oh, Kelly is great. Let me refer you to her," right? All of those things when we have that, that is good. And because it tells you that they're happy with your service. So increase customer retention, right? So in-person promotions will not only attract potential clients and win new clients, but it will also help you easily retain them. And so when people book with you and have a valuable experience, they will tend to book again. After all, a good experience always lasts longer. So more refined sales and marketing. As you engage with your clients directly, you'll begin to gain experience with what tools, processes, and I have to keep moving my bar here, um, and content that you use to attract, sell, and retain clients, right? So you will know what is working. You will know what got their attention, right? You'll know once you get to know your clients a little bit more. I'll ask them, where did you find me? Where, what made you choose me? Right. And you'll hear various things like I saw that you have certifications. I saw that you have a lot of followers on Facebook. I saw that you're, blah, blah, blah. Right. So you will find out what clients need and whether your trips and marketing tools communicate how your niche and service meets their needs. So make it personal and moving. So people depend more on emotions, right? Rather than information when they're buying anything. So therefore, we always aim for the heart. So focus on the person and not on the product. So with that being said, give careful consideration to knowing your clients and target audience first, right? Who is it that you are looking for? What kind of clients do you want? Which is, what kind of clients do you want? What kind of trips do you want to book, right? So, if you're looking to book Viking cruises, that is a completely different clientele, polar opposite of your Carnival Cruise clientele, right? Viking Cruise is a luxury cruise line. It's adults only, but it's a luxury cruise line. They have river cruises and ocean cruises. And so you have people who have a lot of wealth, sometimes generational wealth, and those clients. So if you're looking to work with those clients, or I'm sorry, if you're looking to book Viking cruises just because they pay well, but you don't feel comfortable working around that type of clientele. This is where you really want to know who your clients are, who you would like to work with, and what your target audience is, right? So um, don't make everything about the sales pitch. Rather, make them feel valued and that you're there to help them. So be genuine, make honest recommendations and comments, right? Only saying what works best for your clients. Furthermore, make sure that your conversation is as comfortable and casual as possible, right? You don't want to sound like a robot. You don't want to sound like you're reading off a checklist, right? Nobody wants to feel like you're just going down a list and asking them questions, right? So whenever you are talking to a client, you want to make sure that you are having a very organic conversation with them, getting to know them. And in that conversation, you should have all of your questions answered that are on your client intake, right? So you have your land inquiry, your cruise inquiry, your Disney inquiry. We should never be reading that off, right? We're going to start the conversation like, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. What made you decide that you wanted to go to Disney? Tell me a little bit about yourself and your family and what this trip is going to mean to you." And these are open-ended questions that we're asking, and we're gaining a lot of information. In this, I'm going to find out who's going on the trip. I'm going to find out how old they are, right? Just through organic conversation, right? It doesn't sound, but I'm taking notes, of course, while I'm talking to them, and I'm going to continue to ask them questions like, "What's your favorite part of the park? Have you been there before? What's your favorite park?" Things like that, right? And so you can do that with any destination, right? You really want them to get to a place where you are having them describe their dream vacation, right? If they're going on their honeymoon, I will simply ask them, "Tell me when you close your eyes and you think about your honeymoon and you're dreaming of going to Aspen, Colorado, what is it that you're dreaming of? What are your expectations? What kind of an experience do you want to have?" And you let them start talking, right? In that, you are going to know what type of room they want, right? Are they looking for bottom of the barrel, cheapest room? Or are they looking for a suite? Or are they looking for something with a hot tub, right? Like there's all kinds of things that you're going to learn when you're having those normal conversations. And you can continue to ask questions, and there will be times when you will ask something like, "Are there any airlines that you're not comfortable flying on?" Right? And so that, but you can make that, feel um, like you're not a robot. So promote brand purpose and values. So customers support businesses that carry out noble causes and have relevant values. Consumers also support organizations who engage in philanthropic causes. So align your business with these values and make sure to highlight your brand purpose during your discussions and meetings. Knowing what the organization aims to do will positively impact your customers and target audience. This will encourage them as they realize that you're part of something bigger and that their purchases are making a difference. So, if you are very involved, for example, I am an advocate. I've been volunteering since I was 12 years old. I volunteer with a lot of organizations. And so I'm going to make sure that I align my business with those values that I have, those organizations that I support, right? So maybe I'm going to offer my services for free to an organization, right? And in return, they are going to, mention me, etc., right? Kind of like, Rambler Travel sponsored this event, etc., kind of things like that. And so that you are always tied to something that is a noble cause. So this, just thinking further, you could decide to collaborate with an organization, right? What can I offer you? What can you offer me? How can we collaborate together? I believe in, the National Cancer Society. I I'm a survivor myself. I want to make sure that I am, encouraging people to donate. How can we work together? How can my travel agency help you? What can we do together? Right. And so maybe they will say, oh, okay, well, we are having an event and we were going to have some prizes that we were going to give away, whatever it is, you can do that. There's also fundraising that you can do with your agency. There's fundraising cruises, all kinds of things. And so this is just building your brand or building your credibility in your community. So work on your branding. So speaking of brand purpose, it's also important to focus on branding. What is your brand persona and brand identity? Your brand will resonate more when you have a definite brand persona, right? Brand persona is the character that represents your brand best. So with this persona, you should be relatable to your target audience. Modern consumers, especially millennials, choose a brand which they can relate to and which represents them. So, building a community, one of the most important goals of in person gathering is not only building relationships, but building a community. So, face to face interactions are a great way to network with like minded people. Make it part of your goals to not only connect with your clients, but allow them to connect with each other. Build a brand community by allowing your clients to interact with one another both online and offline, right? So you can create forums. I've seen one of my agents created a page that's a forum that people are sharing their travel experiences with. They're asking questions, and this is a very grassroots new, but I already see people are engaging in her group, right? Which is just going to build momentum. Give them the freedom to share ideas and ask questions. When you create a safe space where people feel that they belong, growth will just follow through, right? So, if you build it, they will come. Boost event marketing. Now, when I think of events, there are several different things that come to mind, right? And so some of this you may think, well, how does this apply to travel? Okay, and I'll explain. So the most effective in-person tactic is a memorable and wholesome event, right? You're thinking, what kind of an event could I throw? So you could have workshops, conferences, trade shows, seminars. They're all great ways to meet with your target audience and existing clients. So I'm going to give you the information. Angela Hines is our group expert, and she has done a series. She did it last month on how to create groups, how to find groups, right? Instead of waiting for someone to come to you to say, I would like you to book a group cruise or a group whatever, she is going and she is creating them. So for example, one of the creations she did was in conjunction with a church. She is doing a marriage retreat, right? So she created this marriage retreat in conjunction, or basically collaborating with the church. And so then they select the location, right? And in plan from there, right? And then she is then, of course, booking all the travel, this big group travel event. And then she attends it as well because she's there to help the all of the clients, right? And if they have needs for travel beyond that, she's there for them, right? So if you can imagine a huge group event like that, and then being able to get at least some of those clients as repeat clients, right? So Big events such as these generate more buzz and elevate excitement. So, depending on the event, you can arrange unique activities that your attendees will enjoy. So, this could also be for team building. So, this past weekend, yesterday actually, there was a Southern California meetup that was led by Halia, and she had agents that come. It's kind of like a come work with me. And so we're trying to promote more of these in person events regionally where agents can get together, get to know each other, and work together. They already happen quite a bit down in Florida. If anyone is in Florida that's hearing this recorded, there is a entire Florida group. They do study halls quite a bit. So conferences are normally filled with educational presentations, but you can add break-ins and little games to break the ice. Giving rewards would also spice things up a bit. So this leads me to I have a training on my YouTube that you are encouraged to watch about how to create a travel club at your library or at a community center, right? So you're going to gather people who like to travel, and the idea is to get everyone to take turns once a month or however often you do it. And people will sign up, so to speak, to be the presenter. So they can bring slides or pictures. You can all sit around table and they can share their pictures, pass them around. Maybe they got photo albums from years ago, whatever it is, but they can share their travel experiences. And so this is a fun way. It's kind of like a book club, right? And people get to share their experiences and where they travel to. And so people love to talk about their travels. They love to hear about great places that maybe they want to travel to. And then, of course, you're not going to be heavy on the sales. I'm a travel agent. You're here so that I can book your travel. You are just the organizer, and you obviously love to travel as well. And so that is your main focus would be to be a part of this group, right? To be the leader of this group. And so that is a really great way to meet people, but educate yourself too, right? You can't go everywhere, so that you can always learn from these people in your group. Now, I suggest in the video, I suggest, senior centers and like senior communities. They have like condos, like all these little neighborhoods where they're seniors only, etc. They usually have a community room, like a building where they can, rent it out, so to speak, for their events. And so this is a great place to have those. Of course, you're going to want to talk to the housing association, your HOA or what have you, get permission, whatever. But once you meet some people within that community, and you get some people on board, then it's usually easy to um, um, form, make some concrete details and, form this. Obviously, I think a web page goes with it. But anyway, so moving on. So trade shows are always a good opportunity for you to connect and gain information and clients, right? So I encourage you to get out to your community. Summertime is perfect. Sometimes you can get a vendor table for 25 bucks. It just depends on the event. It is absolutely well worth it because of all the people that you're going to meet, right? So it really gets your name out there. I did a trunk or treat. It was free. It was a free event. It's a huge event. Like 1,500 people come through there every year because it's a disability, sensory friendly, autism friendly event, right? Nothing scary, nothing, it's very sensory friendly. And so it gets a lot of foot traffic. And so it didn't cost anything. And I just used some decorations that I'd had from birthday parties, and we made a space themed trunk. And the only thing it cost me was the candy, but that, of course, is a tax write off. But I handed out over 1,000 brochures and postcards and whatnot. Royal Caribbean even personalize them with my company name and phone number on those. And it didn't cost me anything extra. I taped a little piece of candy. So it doesn't have to be expensive. Some people are like bridal shows, it's like $500 for a table or a booth. Yes, those are, but if you even get one destination wedding client, that's well worth it, right? And but you may want to work up to spending any more money, right? So there's definitely ways that you can do some of those events for free or very little. So where can you do all of these kinds of things, right? So here are just some examples or ideas about where you can market yourself in person. And so we have your local library, which I have an entire training video about how to utilize your library, senior center, senior villages, local restaurants. I am always carrying my tote bag with me. If you've not heard this before, I make sure that my tote bag is full when I leave the house and I make sure it's empty when I come home. That's my goal every day. I make it as heavy as I can handle it, and then I make sure that it's empty when I go home. So it doesn't matter where I am distributing things, I just make sure that I get rid of them, right? And so my daughter actually made me a tote bag. She embroidered my company logo on it. It's a beautiful tote bag now, and so I carry that around, and I'm kind of advertising. But I make sure that you have your collateral, and I also have a video on my YouTube for that as well, of how to order collateral. Um, so local restaurants, right? You're gonna leave things with your server, right? I'll stop up at the bar with a couple of catalogs or brochures to see if the bartender, if it's okay with them or they want to look at it. I'll say, here you go. Would you like to look at this? And then you know what? But the bar, of course, you've got a lot of single people that come in after work and sit. Sometimes they have their dinner up there, and that's something that they can look at, right? And so every single place that you go, you can be putting your business cards and catalogs, etc. So local churches, right? I'm certified with ETS for faith-based travel. So this is a great way to do group trips as well. So, whether it's mission trips or Holy Land tours or any kind of a trip that your church might take together, then this is, of course, then a group trip. School events, right? So, going to school events, being involved, meeting other parents, right? This is about socializing and mixing and mingling with your community, right? Extracurricular activities. These are all ways that you can get involved, right? Maybe my daughter was in robotics, right? And so there needs to be sponsors, right? Sometimes you can sponsor a team or something like that, right? You ever see where on the back of the little league shirts or whatever, it's got different local companies' names. That's because they sponsored, whether they donated 50 or $100 or whatever it is to get, that marketing. That's a way you can market your business. Maybe you can put a banner up on the soccer field, right? You know how they have the banners that go around the whole fence. Maybe you are they have programs or yearbooks, etc., and you can buy space in that. So grocery stores, I will drop my catalogs in grocery carts. I put my catalogs in the little where the newspapers are. I will set them anywhere, right? I always hand one to my cashier, right? Everyone is always happy. No one is like, why are you giving this to me? Right? Everyone's excited to look at our cruise catalogs. So I mentioned the travel club, local colleges and universities. I recently took my daughter and I dropped off stuff all over the place, right? There's always professors walking around. You think, well, college students, they do travel, right? And more so though, you have your professors and your staff on campus that are your potential clients as well, right? So I talked about festivals, community events, volunteering with something. So March of Dimes, I'm a volunteer for March of Dimes. And so you're really meeting a lot of people who are volunteering their time. People who are volunteering their time are probably travelers as well, right? Charity events. And so partnerships is really good. So you could definitely partner with someone. right? You can build a relationship and it's kind of like I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of a thing, right? Like how can we help each other? Like a collaboration. So keep those kinds of things in mind. Whatever it is that they need, you can see how you can provide something for them. Always make sure that you're dropping your stuff off at these places, barbershop, beauty shop, nail salon, car dealerships. So when you're in there, of course, you want to be talking about your travel business, right? Everyone is talking about travel more than they're talking about the weather. I was so surprised once I started as a travel agent how many people are always talking about their vacations, where they went or where they're going, right? Everyone's always talking about travel of some sort. So it very naturally comes up in conversations. You have to be open to uh having a conversation with them and continuing the conversation and, not pitching, right? So we're building a relationship and you're not going to pitch, "Oh, I'm a travel agent. You should totally book with me," right? Where that's not going to do it, right? So we have to be very relaxed. We have to be very matter of fact, very just not matter of fact, but very um casual, right? Authentic, right? You don't want to appear to be selling them something, right? Or you're going to be like a car salesman, kind of pushy, right? So everywhere you go, make sure if you carry a purse that's big enough to put some of the smaller brochures in, tuck them in your purse. Make sure you've got business cards with you. You never know where you're going to be, right? So maybe a bowling alley is going to have have an event, right? And maybe they want someone they need some prizes or what have you. Maybe you could give away free travel planning, right? Or a $50 off of a trip, right? You could do all kinds of things that wouldn't really cost you a lot of money to do. Golf courses and golf clubs are really big, right? They are traveling. People will travel all over the world to golf at certain golf courses, sports centers, right? So if you're going to the batting cages, or sometimes there's like batting cages and then they have like the go-karts and whatever, like this multi activity kind of a center. Those kids that are there to for batting practice, they're probably on a travel team, right? There's a big money in doing travel sports, right? Every one of those parents, when the kids have to travel to wherever, Texas or whatever, to play in games and competitions or just regular travel sports, everyone's got to have reservations, right? So you could definitely be the one. My granddaughter is in gymnastics. She made the team, the competition team, right? And so then I approached her gym to ask if they would like me to book their travel. Of course, they were extremely happy because they were all doing it themselves, right? And so these are just the kinds of things. Sports bars, right? Sometimes there's fun activities that they have at like sports bars. Maybe they have a trivia night or a karaoke night or something like that. If you are frequenting those places, maybe you could do some kind of you could ask, you could say, "Oh, okay, well, for your trivia prize tonight, can I donate a prize? $100 off of a vacation of, your fine print's going to say of $5,000 or more or something, right? Those kinds of things. So, um, those are the kinds of things. So you want to make sure that you're prepared whenever you are, oops, that circle's not supposed to be there. I didn't check that slide apparently. So this is me showing you that I have my tote bag ready to go. I make sure that I am stocked with catalogs, brochures of all sizes, flyers as well, right? I'll have opportunity flyers and I have travel flyers that I pin to bulletin boards. So of course I make sure that I've got pins in there. I've got a little snapshot case, right? Don't get poked with them pins, right? But I make sure that I'm stocked with enough pins for a bulletin board. Sometimes in the vestibules, when you are walking into a restaurant, they have the double doors. There's a bulletin board where people pin their business cards, right? Sometimes there's a fishbowl of people that drop their business cards in, right? Everywhere that you go, you can absolutely promote your business. Sometimes here's my little trick. If you're just going around and you are looking to just drop your stuff off, right? Like you're not going to the restaurant, you don't want to eat there. But you just want to see if you can drop some collateral off or what have you. So here's my trick. If you go to walk in and there's like no vestibule and there's nothing, and they're like, "Hi, may I help you? Party of one," or what, right? You could simply say, "Oh, hi. I was just wondering, do you have a takeout menu, like a paper takeout menu?" And there's your cover, right? And so there you go, right? So you could just, ask for a takeout menu or what have you. And you could always still hand the hostess a catalog if you wanted to, right? Say, I just came in for if it's me, I'm gonna pretend I'm putting it in my bag after she hands it to me, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, by the way, would you like to take a look at this?" Right? So I'm not shy though, so that might not be for everyone. So vendor events, right? So if you decide to go to a vendor event, make sure that you're prepared. And so of course they either provide a table or you bring a folding table or what have you. A lot of times the agents will have a banner made, right? So that they have a nice looking little booth, right? And so you just want to make sure that you've got plenty of things. I would encourage a pocket folders for um and what I mean by pocket folders is like Canard, for example, and Norwegian Cruise Line. They have these really nice packets that they can send you that you can give to clients or potential clients, right? That's got like everything in it. And so this isn't something I would ever drop off when my normal collateral drops, but for a vendor event, I think that those are nice. And there's always nice to have some kind of giveaway, right? That you can have. You want them to remember your name, right? And so whether it's chapsticks with your name and phone number on it, beach balls, right? If you could get beach balls printed with your name, right? Their kids are going to be playing that with them at the beach. Hats, pens with your name on, luggage tags, lanyards, sunglasses, can koozies, cups, t-shirts. Like there's all kinds of things. But of course, there is an expense for all of this, and some of it is more expensive. So you could always do a raffle if you wanted to for a t-shirt or whatever you want to do, or you could do book with me today and you get a free t-shirt, right? I'm happy to give someone a t-shirt if they're going to book right there, right? Of course, we're going to have our laptop there. We're going to be on a hotspot and we're going to be ready to book them if so needed, right? So with that being said, make sure that you always have someone with you when you are doing these events, because if you have more than one potential client that stops at your booth, you don't want to be busy talking to one and the other one just pass by because you're not available to them. And so it's really nice to have someone who is knowledgeable about your business. But obviously, probably not another travel agent, right? But someone who's knowledgeable about your business. Maybe you're doing a husband wife team, or maybe you've got a sister or your best friend, or someone that's willing to come and help you and knows enough about your business that they can at least give them something to fill out. I think that's a great thing too, is you want to have some kind of a fishbowl with something that they can fill out with their name and their email address and phone number, right? You just want, that's all you really need. So you might have a drawing, right? Win a free cruise. I don't know, win a whatever. It's probably not going to be a free cruise, but something like that, so that you can collect information, right? That's a funnel, a type of a funnel for you to get information. And so I just want to end with directing you to where you can get some of these videos. So this is a video that is on my YouTube, how to utilize your library to help build your business. There are so many resources at our library. And then I do want to leave you with a couple of YouTube channels that I think are going to be helpful. So, Travel Agility is Angela Hines. She's our group expert. That's where you can find those group travel trainings, the whole series that she did. And then here is mine. And so if you just go to YouTube and you use the at sign for these, you'll be able to get there. Jody Wariski has a great video on vendor booths in general, how to set up a successful vendor booth. And then there is Courtney Sharple. She's a platinum and she specializes in destination weddings. And she has at least one series on there that she did like a year ago about destination weddings or wedding events. All right. So we are going to end for um this week. So we will have the series continuing next week. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and you can look for the other videos in the series.